Hi, good day ladies and gentlemen. In this video presentation, we are about to dive in to the Standard 1300, which is all about Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. This is part 1. Allow me to introduce myself and my team. I am Dato Israel T. Kamandan, and together with Ms. Echanova, Ms. Musa, and Ms. Rataban, let's have fun while learning. Now, for the framework of our discussion for this video presentation, we have prepared here a topic outline. Now, for the main topic, we have the Standard 1300, which is all about the Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. Now, we have here three subtopics, which are the internal assessments, external assessment, and reporting on the Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. Now, under the first subtopic, we have two, the ongoing internal assessments and periodic internal self-assessments. For the second subtopic, we have the general considerations, timing, scope of external assessment, considerations, and lastly, the type of review. And then, of course, we have the last one, the reporting on the Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. Here, we will be talking about the process. Also, we have here the learning objectives. These are what we aim to achieve throughout this video discussion. We have number 1 is to explain the importance of quality assurance. Second one is to discuss the internal and external assessments. And lastly is to explain the reporting process for the reporting on quality assurance. Now, without further ado, here is the overview or background of Standard 1300, which is all about the Quality Assurance and Improvement Program. Let's start the learning. Standard 1300 basically reflects that the Chief Audit Executive must develop and maintain a quality assurance and improvement program that covers all aspects of the internal audit activity. Now, what we have here is an interpretation to further understand what this standard articulates. A quality assurance and improvement program is designed to enable an evaluation of the internal audit activities' conformance with the definition of internal auditing and the standards, and an evaluation of whether internal auditors apply the what we call code of ethics. The program also assesses the efficiency and effectiveness of the internal audit activity and identifies opportunities for improvement. For the background of this standard, Quality Assurance and Improvement Program, also known as the QAIP of the Internal Audit Function or IA, within the Internal Oversight Division or IOD, is designed to provide reasonable assurance to the various stakeholders of the internal audit activity that internal audit, number 1, performs its work in accordance with the International Oversight Charter or IOC and the Institute of Internal Auditors, International Standards for the Professional Practice of Internal Auditing, the IIA standards, the definition of internal auditing, and the Code of Ethics. For the number 2, operates in an effective and efficient manner. And for number 3, is perceived by stakeholders as adding value and improving internal audit's operations. In this regard, a list of the features that are included in this QAIPR, we have first, monitoring of functioning of the internal audit function to ensure it operates in an effective and efficient manner. Also, compliance with the International Oversight Charter and the IIA standards, the definition of internal auditing, and the Code of Ethics. We have also the contributing to improvements in organizational operations. Next in line, we have the ongoing internal assessments of audit assignments, the results of which are discussed within IOD to further improve the audit processes. Also, we have the periodic self-assessments, the results of which are communicated to the Director General and the Independent Advisory Oversight Committee, or IAOC. And then lastly, an external assessment at least every 5 years, the results of which are communicated to the Director General, the IAOC, and member states. Now we have here a note. Keep in mind that the Director of Internal Oversight Division, or IOD, is ultimately responsible for the QAIP, which covers all types of internal audit activities, including advisory services. Now, here are some things that we need to take into account. Standard 1300 tasks the Chief Audit Executive, or CAE, with developing and maintaining a comprehensive quality assurance and improvement program, which we call the QAIP. This QAIP should encompass all aspects of operating and managing the internal audit activity, including consulting engagements. As found in the mandatory elements of the International Professional Practices Framework, or the IPPF, it may also be beneficial for the QAIP to consider best practices in the internal audit profession. Furthermore, the QAIP is designed to enable an evaluation of the internal audit activities' conformance with the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing, or standards, and whether internal auditors apply the IIA's Code of Ethics. We also have the CAE must have a thorough understanding of the mandatory elements of the IPPF, especially the standards and Code of Ethics. Now, typically, the CAE finds examples of how QAIPs are developed and implemented in other organizations, particularly those that are similar in nature and maturity for benchmarking purposes. Additionally, the CAE may wish to consult IIA supplemental guidance and other published guidance on the matter, including the IIA's Quality Assessment Manual for the internal audit activity. At this point of time, have you asked yourself, why do you think that quality assurance is important? Well, let's find out. My fellow learners, here's why. A quality assurance and improvement program is an ongoing program intended to increase the quality and value of internal audit services. It assesses the efficiency and effectiveness of the internal audit activity. Also, keep in mind that the program will evaluate conformance with relevant policies, procedures, standards, core values, and a code of ethics. Also, we need to take into account that as an organization grows, their operation and quality processes must evolve to keep pace. A quality assurance and improvement program monitors this through both an internal and external assessments, which are required as part of the standards. Now, that is why. At this point of time, let's unlock the considerations for implementation. What do you think? Well, let's dive in deeper to learn more. Come on! For considerations for implementation, a well-developed QAIP ensures that the concept of quality is embedded in the internal audit activity and all of its operations. The internal audit activity should not need to assess whether each individual engagement conforms with the standard. Rather, engagements should be undertaken in accordance with an established methodology that promotes quality and, by default, conformance with the standards. Additionally, the methodology generally promotes continuous improvement of the internal audit activity. As Standard 1300 requires, the CAE develops and maintains a QAIP that covers all aspects of the internal activity, with the ultimate goal of developing an internal audit activity within a scope and quality of work that includes conformance with the standards and application of the Code of Ethics. The QAIP enables an internal audit activity to be evaluated for conformance with the standards and assesses whether internal auditors apply the Code of Ethics. As such, the QAIP includes assessments of the internal audit activities efficiency and effectiveness, which help to identify opportunities for improvement. The CAE periodically evaluates the QAIP and updates it as needed. For example, as the internal audit activity matures or as conditions within the internal audit activity change, adjustments to the QAIP may become necessary to ensure that it continues to operate in an effective and efficient manner and to assure stakeholders that it adds value by improving the organization's operation. Now, keep in mind that to implement Standard 1300, the CAE must consider the requirements related to its 5 essential components. And what are these essential components? We have number 1, the internal assessments. Number 2, the external assessments. Number 3, communication of QAIP results. Fourth one would be the proper use of a conformance statement. And then lastly is the disclosure of non-conformance. Well, that ends our video presentation for part 1. Again, I am Dato Israel T. Comandan. Thank you so much for watching, and now we shall proceed to the next part. Bye!